These are just ways to get conversations going. I hope what it does for you is get your imagination juices flowing so that you can make them sound like you, using this as your skeleton or your ideas for how you could just say something instead of worrying about what you're going to say. Welcome to another week on the podcast. I know how much you love your messaging scripts from me. We talked a little bit about that a couple weeks ago here on the podcast about how making those messaging scripts not sound like spammy Tammy. And so I'm going to share with you some messaging scripts today. And your challenge is to make them sound like you before they send them out. These are messaging scripts that I have used over and over and over again. They are messaging scripts that you may have heard from me before, but I love revisiting them this time of year, especially because it's such a fun time, you guys. Halloween was last week. So now we are moving into a really fun time of year, and it's a great excuse to message people out of the blue. So I'm going to give you these messaging scripts. I am not going to send them to you in PDF form. This podcast is for you to listen if you want the messaging scripts for things like this. This is the sort of thing that I share inside of my paid community. You can join that at any time by going to emilygibsoncoaching.com/shop. And we have tons and tons of PDFs and workbooks and message scripts that you can download there and have at your fingertips instantly when you join. So I'm going to say them to you here. I want you to listen. I want you to make them your own and send them out this week because it's just the perfect time of year to send them, okay? So these are conversation starters and connection messages that I personally wrote, that I use, that I love, okay? So then this is my personality. Your challenge is to make them sound like you, not spammy Tammy. They're not spammy Tammy for me. They are, this sounds like Emily Gibson. And if we have the same personality, I mean, by all means, send them out just the way I wrote them. But I want them to sound like you. So make sure you put you in your messages. All right. Okay. Here's one example. Oh my gosh. Just saw your Halloween pictures. See why I'm doing this week, you guys? It looks like you had the best time. How was Halloween? Are you putting up your Christmas decorations yet, or just sticking with fall? These are relationship builders. These are ways to get conversations going so that in the next couple of weeks, you can turn it into a product or business conversation. Okay. Here's another one. Oh my gosh, it was so fun seeing your post from you on Halloween. It made me want to catch up even more. You looked so cute and your kids were adorable. How in the world have you been? Here's another one. It was so great to run into you over the weekend. This year has been quite a challenge and I haven't felt as connected to my friends as I usually do. We should hop on the phone and just catch up today, or maybe we could get the kids together and hit the park. What's your week looking like? Okay, here's another one. Oh my gosh, the weekend was such a whirlwind and I just saw your cute post with your kids. How was Halloween? Did you have a lot of trick-or-treaters? If they are an Instagram friend, tack on, what was it like where you live? Okay, always personalize it if you didn't see them in person. Okay, that's why I said if they're an Instagram friend and you didn't see them in person, then we want to say something like, what was it like where you live, right? So we want to like really bring it in there, okay? Now, messaging after a post is a different kind of message, and I'm going to show you some examples of how to do that in a different way. Hey, so I know this weekend was kind of crazy, even though we didn't do a ton for Halloween. There's always something going on. I just posted up something pretty personal about my story, and I wanted to make sure you saw it today. Made me think of you. Did you see it? So this is a message that you would send to someone after you had just made a post about your product or your business. You would send them that kind of a message. It's a way to bring people in and create interest that maybe missed your post because like who sees everyone's stuff anymore? We just don't. So I don't want to wait or cast all of my luck on an algorithm. I want to send a direct message and say, did you see it? Right. And so that's the way that I do that. Here's another one. Hey, I hope you had a great weekend. I didn't see you post anything from Halloween, and it made me wonder what you guys have been up to. I just did a post about something super close to my heart, and I wanted to make sure you didn't miss it. It made me think of you. Okay. Here's another one. Hey, Jess, I hope you had an amazing Halloween weekend. I don't know about you, but I honestly don't spend as much time scrolling social media as I used to. However, I did post something up today that I really wanted your eyes on. Did you happen to see my post? So it's just a really great way to start those conversations and to get things going, to stir up some conversation and some interest. And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I saw it. And then you just kind of like roll with it. Or they're like, no, I didn't see it. Oh my gosh, if I tagged you in it, would you go check it out? Right. So we want to just like send them to it. Okay. Here's another one, just straight up messaging them. We're not conversation starting. We're not relationship building. We're not trying to get them to look at our post. We're like, let's get down and dirty and skip the foreplay. Okay. Hey, Sarah, I've been thinking about you all weekend because I know we've talked about how you have tons of sugar cravings. This is just an example for a health and wellness company. You could switch it to anything. I only ate one of my kids' Reese's peanut butter cups over the weekend, and I would love to see you have that same willpower without the struggle. Would you be interested in looking at some results that you could get from my stuff? Okay, so that's an example that you could do. Here's another one. Hi, Mary. I was sitting here thinking about you, and honestly, I don't think we've ever talked about my gut health stuff that I love so much. Is it something you've heard of or know much about? I know I hadn't. If you're open to it, I'd love to send you a little story about how it's worked for me and a few of my friends. What do you think? And then Mary's going to let us know what she thinks. Okay, here's one last one. Hey, Jess, I've got a few friends who are ready to kick their cravings to the curb, especially after the overload of Halloween candy. Not sure if you'd want to check it out too, but I could send you a little information and see what you thought. Right? So these are just ways to get conversations going. I hope what it does for you is get your imagination juices flowing so that you can make them sound like you, using this as your skeleton or your ideas for how you could just say something instead of worrying about what you're going to say. So I hope you had an amazing Halloween last week. I hope that you will challenge yourself to get these messages out today because they are written for this time of year, especially, and it's going to be a great way to get into your messages, get some conversations going, get some post attention on what you're posting, and also get straight to the point and get people moving in some direct messages. All right, everyone, have an amazing day. Bye now.